Joined by head coach of the South Plains College track and field team, Coach Chris Beene joins us. You guys just got back from an event at UTEP. Let's talk a little bit about that UTEP meet and how things go for you in the elevation.
It was a good opener for us. We didn't do a ton of stuff first meet. Try not to overload the kids, and what we did do, I thought we did pretty well. We had a couple of one school record in the women's 4x1 with what I would consider to be horrendous handoffs. It was pretty bad, but we were able to get the stick around, which is what you want to do the first meet, and like I said, it was a school record. So, and then our hurdle girl in the 100 hurdles, Janelle Baleil, a little freshman girl, tied the school record there. So we had a couple things that were good. It was a very good meet. We had pretty good weather. A little bit of wind, obviously, there, and we ran all our distance kids down, like we talked about in the last interview, that they ran some shorter races for the most part, and got them some work.
Really, it comes down to that. It's getting work. It's first meet of the year, as you said. You don't load anybody up real heavy or at a higher elevation. About going out and re-stretching the legs, because oddly enough, it has been a little bit of time since you competed in that last indoor meet. And, and that time can really affect things. I mean, you got to practice all you want, but until you get out on a track and actually run some times, it's just tough to figure out where you're at right out of the gate, I think.
It is, and it's one of those deals that we literally had spring break there. And, our kids, they work over spring break some, and some more than others. But and then you came back, and then we had a week where there was, a lot of wind and dust, and, we tried to get something done, but so you had a couple of weeks there that were kind of a lull, and so just getting out of the gate and getting to compete a little bit and travel and do some of those kind of things, getting the kids back in a rhythm really helped. And then of course you got Tech this week, and then you've got Texas relays the next week. So about the time we ought to start firing on all cylinders is about the time we need to.
You get into this Tech meet coming up here this week. Let's talk about this Tech meet. Who are some of the teams we're going to see coming into Tech?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen the entries yet. We just finished them today. But, the typical entries you see are going to be, Wayland Baptist, us, Abilene Christian, McMurray, a lot of the schools that are kind of from this area, and then, of course, Tech. But, I don't know, from time to time you'll have schools like TCU or, North Texas and SMU and some of those schools that'll come down. I don't know for sure if this one's going to be that. I do know UTEP is coming down because they're going to come use our track on Friday and do a little bit of a shakeout. So I do know UTEP is going to be here.
Do you run into many Division I teams? Do you line up some spots where you'll hit some Division I's during this outdoor track and field season?
We try to do that a little bit everywhere we go because, at Junior College Nationals, it's just against the JUCOs. So we want to test ourselves every week against the D1 schools. So, even at UTEP this last weekend, Tech was there, UTEP was there, New Mexico State was there. So there were some Division I schools that we lined up there, and Tech will have a few. And then Texas Relays, our women get a chance to line up against all the D1s, but we don't get a chance to do that on the men's side. They separate us out on the men's side. I think they're scared of us a little bit, but no, actually, there was that happened back in the days of Beene and how good they were, and so they decided to separate it out. But but we try to pick meets where we're going to get the most D1 competition.
Honestly, you can look at a D1 competition, you can look at a JUCO, you can look at it however you want to look at it. But fast time's a fast time. It's not like other team sports where you may have the ability of a little deeper bench or a little deeper roster for your college compared to two.
Right.
Fast time's fast time. You go out and start hanging good times on D1 teams like you did during the indoor season. Well, you can really set some high markers and frankly, push your kids a little harder, too, as you run it against a little better competition.
Well, and that's, we try to use that in recruiting as well. I mean, when you're trying to go get the best kids here and have a program that can win national titles every year or have at least the opportunity to, going and running against those D1s and putting those times out there. Well, when you talk a high school kid and say our 4x4 indoors ran 3:05, it's number 3 in the world right now, still, I think, at this point, then that's an easier selling point to that kid. That kid's pretty excited about South Plains College. And sometimes we don't just recruit kids that are only JUCO eligible. We're going after some of the kids that are wanting to go to Division I schools and Division II schools and all that. So when we go and recruit, we're not just looking for the non-qualifier kind of kid that only can go JUCO. We're looking for everybody. And by running those kind of times, sometimes we'll get, those kind of kids to come here.
I would think not only your track record, pardon the pun, but also being very close to Texas Tech, being deep in a state where there is a lot of Division I programs and a lot of Division I quality across the South and South Central. I would think that would be a very good way to recruit people, is go out and look at the competition we run again, look how close we are to a Division I college, look how many meets we go to. I would think you've got a lot of weapons in that recruiting closet sitting there at your disposal.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and being in Texas, I mean, we don't really have to. I mean, we do go out of state, obviously, with some of our kids, and we get some international kids, but we get a ton of really good Texas kids too. I mean, it's as good recruiting here as it is anywhere, and it is a selling point. Our weather is good here for the most part. I mean, the school is a very good school academically, and on top of that, it is. We're gonna. We get a chance to say, hey, last year the only team that beat us at Texas Relays in the women's 4x2 was Texas A&M, and we weren't in the heat they were in. If we'd been in their heat, you never know what would have happened, because you get a chance to compete against them. So when you can go to a recruit and tell them that, that's big.
All right, Coach. Just seems at the time for this one. Any final thoughts for us before we wrap it up and get ready for the weekend meet?
Not really. I mean, we're, like I said, Texas Tech's going to be a good meet, and there's always some good stuff there, and it's going to start about 11 o'clock, I think, for the field events, and about 3 o'clock for the running events, and it'll go kind of a rolling schedule till 6 or 7 in the evening, maybe a little longer. But no, we're excited to get rolling and get a couple of meets in, and then Texas Relays is going to be real fun. We're going to have a couple of really good relays to go down there and compete with.
Work on the handoffs between now and then.
Yes, we're going to have to work a lot on our handoffs between now and then.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time as always. Best of luck to yourself, Texans, Lady Texans.
Thanks.